all about taking your brands to the next level. And at IBE this week, we've been meeting so many brands who are ready to have us help them take their brands to the next level. And we'd love to help you.
Hi, I'm Eleni from Base Beauty Creative Agency. Make sure you check out our website, basebeauty.com. Subscribe to our podcast, Where Brains Meet Beauty, on iTunes, and follow us on Instagram at Base Beauty Creative Agency.
Thank you all for joining us at this discussion. My name is Jody Katz. I'm the founder and creative director of Base Beauty Creative Agency. We met many of you on Tuesday at Connect Indie, and it was so incredible to see the indie beauty community come together, and we're excited to have some fun with you today. Base Beauty is an omni-channel creative agency hyper-focused on the beauty and wellness industries. I started this agency 10 years ago. I'm also the host of the podcast series called Where Brains Meet Beauty. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. Let's welcome our panelists. I'm joined by Ashley Prangy, founder of Au Naturel Cosmetics. You can clap, it's okay to clap. Greg Starkman, co-founder of InnerSense Organic Beauty. And Sarah Villafranco, MD, founder of Osmia. Today our panelists are going to walk us through the process of taking their brands from direct to consumer to broader distribution, a wider brand awareness, and ultimately increase revenue. Before we dive deep into the facts of building a brand, I want to paint a picture for many of the founders in the room. Running a business is like playing a game. What's cool about running your own business is you get to pick the game and how to play it. So some founders, well, they're looking for world domination. Maybe others are gamblers who love taking chances. Or maybe you're a realist, knowing that many times when you take 2 steps forward, you might have to take 1 step back. When I started Base Beauty, our goal and mission is to create breakthrough creative for the beauty industry. So for us, it's like playing a game of chess. Here's some of our client work. We're constantly looking at the industry and marketplace, helping brands identify their point of difference and leveraging that across all sales channels. That could be positioning, packaging design, visual merchandising tools, social media content, brand videos, PR, influencer marketing, and more. So for our clients, my team and I are constantly thinking 2 steps ahead. But for me, my game is the game of life. I started my business so I could have some control over my time. I didn't want to make excuses for how I was living my life. I wanted to be a mom, but I wanted to do it my way. And that's what I'm always seeking, which is a sense of balance. I'm really longing for serenity. I don't always have it, but I'm constantly looking for it. So, for brands to level up, thanks to our Legos, they really need to understand who they are. And our 3 panelists today definitely are great examples of that. So let's get to the panel. Ashley, we'll start with you.
Okay, are we going through my game?
Yes, we'd like to know a little bit about yourself, about your brand, and what game are you playing?
Try to just use the talking points. So my name's Ashley Prangy. I have the brand Au Naturel Cosmetics, which is clean color. I started this brand out of a passion to bring healthy makeup to everyone, and I didn't quite understand what that meant until I really went and did the research of, what is clean color? What is the regulation of clean color in this country? And kind of went through this rabbit hole, and then like, oh my goodness, clean color and performance, how do we do it? We have to formulate all these different steps together has made what the brand is today. And it's performance-driven clean color we're trying to bring to everyone, no matter where your skin tone is, that lasts all day long. And it's been an adventure, and there's so much more tied into that, but the passion piece is what is most exciting to me, and that's also working on regulation in Washington, D.C. to bring healthy makeup or healthy personal care products to everyone. So I'll try to keep it at that, keep it simple, but that's the story.
And your game?
Ashley Pranging.
Your game?
Oh, my game! I'm like, I think I just said that, Jody. Okay, this is hard for me, but I'm obsessed with Scrabble, and I like it, and I like this analogy because, well, you kind of have your pieces that you know, and then you go into the bag and you grab like something you don't, and you try to score high points, make a complicated big word that's impressive and like gets you ahead, but you don't always know everything that's coming. So I like the analogy because I think it's applicable to everyday life when you are an entrepreneur, especially in this space.
Thanks, Ashley. How about you, Greg?
Greg Starkman, founder of InnerSense. Really, this was born of a curiosity of noting the emerging consumer trends associated with clean, safe cosmetics. I came from big cosmetics and big hair care, and so as I recognized this emerging trend, what became an interest turned into an obsession. We started 12 years ago. We were very much a baby brand 12 years ago at a time when this space was really emerging. And to see it today is really empowering how fast, in the last, I would say, 48 months, this industry is just really, or this space has just really taken off. And it's driven by consumer awareness, and that's what drives clean brands today, is consumers becoming self-empowered and educated. And that's really, it feeds me every day to see new consumers coming into the space wanting to get educated and how we've evolved. We're definitely, we're here, so it's great.
Greg, what game are you playing?
A bad game of Risk. No, it is a risk. Coming from big business, it's, you have to navigate, you have to learn how to navigate every day. And what looks good on paper, you have to be aware it might look good on paper, it might not unfold the way you expect it to. But it's a game of risk and, more importantly, perseverance.
Sarah?
I'm Sarah Villafranco, I'm the founder of Osmia. We started the brand about 5 years ago after I practiced emergency medicine for 10 years. So after 10 years in the ER, I sort of decided that it was not quite my brand of medicine, and that there were some, I'm sure some of you have experienced this, there were some snafus in the way medicine is practiced in this country. And we tend to go to our prescription pad before talking to people about the basic sort of health points like, did you eat well this morning? Are you exercising? Are you managing your stress? Around that time that I was feeling that anxiety about how medicine is practiced, I took a class making soap, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. So it sort of was a perfect storm, and I was able to make the shift and start the brand. We started with me and my former nanny, just the two of us, and now 5 years in, we have a team of 10 amazing women, and still make everything in-house out in the mountains of Colorado. So,
And what game are you playing?
I am the game, if Chutes and Ladders and chess had a baby, that's my game. So you strategize the best you can, but you have to be ready for either a serious setback, and you just have to recover, or for an opportunity that you weren't expecting, and you better jump on the slide, holler all the way down.
So our next question, to continue the theme of, not to continue the theme, to talk about our theme, the next question is about how do you define next level? We'll start with you, Sarah. What does next level mean to you?
For us, I think we've chosen this sort of slow, organic growth model where we are trying to grow us at a level that allows us not to implode. Building a company that's great to work for is important to me too, providing jobs for the people that we provide jobs for. So company culture is a piece of what we do. I have a group of women who are all passionate about what we're doing, and that really matters to me, and that's why I've kept our production in-house. Keeping production in-house, and Ashley can speak to this, will limit your growth in terms of speed. It is harder to scale up that way. But it's the choice I'm making right now. And so next level for us, I think means, right now we work with some lots of smaller but chain boutiques like Credo and Detox Market and Foley. We have some products in Anthropologie. Next level might be a few more Anthropologie level retailers, but really we're a direct-to-consumer company. And I love that about us because I want people to come to us for education and information. Because like Greg said, creating an informed and educated consumer is the way we're going to create change and make the world better.
Greg, what does next level mean to you?
There's so many moving pieces to what we do. Supply chain is critical to maintain your pace and your growth, because once you start hitting these plateaus, the tipping points come at you very quickly, and you have to be responsive, and you need to make sure that your supply channel is in alignment with that, and that you've got partners that support your vision and your mission. It's critical, and to stay very grounded. The last 2 years, we've just experienced just amazing growth, and we went through a lot of updating our channels and stuff. And so being confident that we're going to be able to continue the demand gives us the confidence that we continue to leverage the growth. But the other thing that I also want to say is that controlled growth is really critical. You have to decide your lane, where you want to be, and just not ship an order to everybody who wants your product. You need to make sure that they're in value alignment with who you are, supporting where you want to go. Innocence wouldn't be a great product in Target, so to speak. It's not what we want to be, where we want to be. So I always stress that. Be clear on where you want your brand to be.
Ash?
Yeah, yes, so true, and that's a constant struggle every year we've been in business, and the same, so I'm going to echo some of the same things you brought up. For our company, it will be 6 years in November that we've been live, selling direct to consumer. We've been doubling every single year. It's exciting, and we always sort of had this idea of where we wanted to be, and I think it's important to sort of like manifest and visualize where you want to be, but also strategize, to Greg's point too, figuring out where you want to go and seeking out those buyers, but making sure that they're partners with you. Because in this space of green and clean, which the three of us are, you have to be with brick and mortar, wherever you're going, they have to help you market, the educational support, they need to be with you. And it's hard to kind of find the right fit, but it's so important and critical if you're actually going to grow on that platform. So for us, we're moving into Whole Foods shortly. That was something I always wanted, truly, and I'm excited that they're providing us with what I need from them and vice versa. And that's everything from display units to how we're merchandising, the assortment, all the moving pieces. So I would stress to everyone listening to this right now, like, kind of have a vision and then stay fluid, that you can meet their demands, but also ask them to meet you halfway, because you're in that together. So next level for us is really unpacking with partners that are ready to step up, because as the consumer is becoming more educated, asking more questions, like, they need to be there to unpack that story for you. You can't always be at every location telling your story. They need to be your mouthpiece. So are they with you?
Great. So now to continue the theme of games, for Q&A, we're going to spin the wheel of questions. Let's see what comes up first. Is this fun? Right? A little fun. Okay, first question, and we'll start with Greg, is how do you handle the fear associated with spending a lot of money?
Okay, I'm really cheap. I want cheap, but I want it big. Anyway, so coming from big beauty, you're used to seeing huge budgets, right? And then so when you start your own brand, of course, you learn real quick that money goes away very fast, and there's no more 18th floor to go up to beg for more. So you have to learn to kind of do things on the cheap. And I think as you grow, everything is relative. You have to begin to spend against your brand. And when you're a young entrepreneur, it's cash flow. Cash is king, and you're always trying to balance the difference between spending. Am I going to spend $5 5,000 here, or am I going to buy $5,000 in inventory? Those are basic decisions that you're forced to make on a day-to-day basis. It's just like, am I going to hire people to do this, or am I going to buy inventory or spend it in advertising? So those are really critical things that you have to balance. But I think as you grow, you have to be willing to invest. And I think it's not so much spending anymore. In the last 24 months, I've learned some deep lessons about how I need to invest into the future of the business and not be so conservative, but know that the business as we grow is giving back. And I think that that's probably the biggest lesson. So, yeah.
Sarah?
I run a lot, so that's how I handle fear. But like truly, when you're an entrepreneur, you work really, really hard and really long hours. So that's like this is the doctor talking to all of you. Like, take care of yourself because endorphins are very powerful chemicals. So other than that, I would say that it's okay to just stop and think for a minute about whether something is a good investment for your brand, because you're going to have people like, you'll have the digital marketing people telling you need to spend $100,000 a year on digital marketing. You'll have, I mean, it's like, I can't believe the number of angles people come at you from telling you you need this to grow your brand. And you got to like stop and have like a truth check with yourself. Like, wait, do I? I don't know if I do. I'm going to stick with this for now. And then the other thing is maybe just, pick one thing and try it and see if there's a return. And then you'll know that that's a successful thing. Don't do all of the things. And then your brand grows and you're like, which one did that? Right? So try to be a little strategic when you do have big spends so that you can measure the return for your specific brand.
Ash?
I mean, I think it's healthy to have a certain amount of fear associated with spending. What I try to do, especially with big spend, with any project, is assess my risk, assess the data, because I'm always looking for analytics, no matter what the spend might be on, and then give myself a timeline, like how long do I want to try this for digital social media, like, and where do I want it to go? Facebook, Instagram, whatever, like where am I seeing the conversion? And at a certain point, if it's not converting, if it's not turning over profit or the revenue that I need, then it's time to say no and quit it, and not be, not suckered into, but everyone's gonna have a great pitch, and you have to trust yourself and also give yourself a limit so you can invest in other things, because there will be so much opportunity and you can only do so much. It's really easy to see a lot of money go out the window. You have to be smart.
I think as a business owner for 10 years, the financial insecurity is my just biggest, I guess, fear-based topic. It gets easier to manage with meditation.
The gray hair is so real. It only started when I started the company. Yeah,
Let's find another question on this wheel. Can everybody hear us? The garbage trucks seem to be making quite a bit of noise. You're okay. What's your least favorite job to do in the company? Let's start with Ashley.
Well, we were just talking about cash flow and money. I hate it. We're always needing capital to grow. It takes money to make money, and I'd rather be mission-driven and focused on product development than having to worry about that. So when I could afford more managers to help me with that, my life became easier, but it's still my biggest concern every single day. And it's not that the company's not doing well, it's doing so well. And there's so much we can do, but it all costs money.
Greg?
It's a really hard question. I love doing it all because I had to do it all for so long. So I've become a real bad micromanager. I'm sorry for some of the people who work for me. I would say the thing that I don't like doing the most is probably forecasting, planning. I think that that's a big challenge because it takes me time to settle and kind of get out of the weeds. I kind of speak to, I don't like working on the business, I like working in it, and I need to spend more time working on it, strategically planning, forecasting, because the business requires that now. So.
Sarah?
Selling it. I don't like selling my product. I believe in it with every cell in my body, and I want to change the course of evolution, one bar of soap at a time. And I believe that like brands like ours are capable of doing that. But if you're making me walk up to, and this is a great day to say this, to the buyer for some big store that doesn't really believe in the green thing, I don't want to sell it to that. Like, I know that it has to be done, but it's my worst discomfort in life. I want to give it to you, and then I know you'll come back because it's awesome. But I don't want to tell you it's good.
A friend of mine who's amazing at sales once told me that I'm not selling, I'm giving information that they need, right? I'm passing it along. And that's helped adjust my head around it. Okay, let's spin. Ooh, should you dilute your vision if there's a big financial opportunity? Meaning, let's say if a big box company came along and they said they'd help you along the way, it's $1 zillion, what would you do? Let's start with Sarah.
This is one of those things where, like, your friend has an affair and you say, like, I would never do that. I don't like to, say what I would or wouldn't do in a situation that I haven't been in. So I have not been offered $100 million for Osmia. So I don't know what I would do.
Is there a doctor in the house?
My theoretical answer is don't dilute your vision, and that doesn't mean you can't accept the offer. If, like Ashley said, you go back and you say, okay, let's talk. Here's how this needs to unfold. For me to say yes to this, you get to negotiate back because it's your brand. So really, if what you're doing, and every person who starts a business, for the most part, no one works like this for something that they don't feel strongly about, that they don't believe in, right? So if you believe in your vision, then no, don't dilute it.
Greg?
So there's the saying, you can grow poor in this business real quick. And you have to make good business decisions. A lot comes with big POs. You've got to fund it. You've got to fund it. You've got to find the financing for it. And then you've got to pray that they're going to pay you on time. And too many times I've been in a position where I expect 30 and it's 90, 120. It puts a huge strain and it's a domino effect, and it can virtually put you out of business. And unfortunately, I've seen that happen. So I think that, to Sarah's point, alignment of values is this right for us? Does this make good sense for us? And don't feel like you have to compromise your values for the dollar signs, because at the end of the day, it's only that first PO. It's like, what is the future of that business going to yield for me? And that's something that I really take account to.
Ash?
If it doesn't, if you are this authentic voice, your brand is your gift to the world, and you have to compromise that in any way, shape, or form, it's not a good idea. And so many times, I would say early on, 2 instances I can think of, I won't name the stores, I went down that road, and it was bad advice to have ever even had a conversation or two with them, and to actually do business with one. And I don't have a lot of regrets, but those would be the only 2 since the inception of Au Natural that I wish I could take back. It wasn't a good fit. It was never going to be successful. So if it doesn't feel right, I would say don't do it.
Okay, let's spin that wheel. I can't even read it, it's so small. Oh, this is a really good one. What kind of costs are there when I start working with a new retailer? Let's start with Ashley.
Sure. Costs starting with a new retailer. There's so many. One would be point of sales. What does this display unit look like? How much inventory are they holding? What are the shared costs of all of it? What's the assortment looking like? How are you supporting it? Because wherever you go, you need to support that account to watch it actually be successful. So are you working with a broker? Are you investing in tastemakers to visit that account? Are you yourself going there to help that account move? Those are some. Packaging, like what are they expecting? Are you giving them what they want? Does it look good to you? I mean, there's so many things when you're, depending on who you're working with, that you need to address. SKUs, EDI, like so many things depending on who it is.
Greg, can you give us a number? Is it like I have to
but every retailer is different. And you have to, I think, again, just getting on shelf is one piece. And they're going to require your support. And the critical point is, look, we're all indie brands. And what excites people about indie brands is the individual personalities of our brands. And we need to create touch points. And those touch points require us to be in those locations, educating, inspiring, and getting those people to understand the values and the passion behind the brand, because they are going to be your #1 advocates. And that's a critical investment that you need to make in launching. Gratis is always really critical. It's a part of marketing. But then I think the other thing is coming up with branding strategies, digital strategies, social media strategies that also support you as well as help drive their business. It needs to be a partnership. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that you're going to walk in the store, you're going to see dust on the bottles, and you're going to be embarrassed.
Sarah?
I'm sorry to say that I could not hear the question. I can kind of guess what it is, but
What are the costs involved in starting doing business with a new retailer for you?
with a new retailer, yeah, I mean, I think you guys have covered the big points there. I mean, I think that, one thing, I don't know if it's a cost, but is trying to make sure that you're getting reports from the retailer back to you about sales so that you can address it if it's not selling. Because you don't want to find out by them saying, oh, we're not going to keep carrying it. You're like, wait a minute, you keep ordering, I thought things were going fine. So I think that one thing to do at the beginning of a relationship is say that I want quarterly sales reports, and to promise them something in return. I'm going to come out twice a year to do events in the store, and I will come and train your staff. And yes, gratis for staff is great because they have to use the products to sell it. So I think that that's one area that, just the travel and time commitment involved in getting involved with retail. It's not going to sell unless you go to the store yourself.
Jillian said something on Tuesday during one of her presentations that it's not a situation of if I build it, they will come, right? It's not like my bottles go on shelf and all of a sudden everyone starts hoarding them because they love them so much. You have to really work. From our agency perspective, we think of it like when you get the PO, that's when the hard work begins, right? How to build excitement and momentum and drive awareness and sales and reviews on the .com and all that. It's an enormous amount of work and it requires investment, right? Beyond everything you need to do to get in line with the retailer. Okay, let's spin that wheel. So the question is, what event or piece of feedback made you realize and have a light bulb moment of, I need to really invest to get to the next level, right? All of you have invested in people and packaging and branding. There's lots of costs here. What was that big event or moment? Greg, we'll start with you.
Oh, wow. So I think being in the green space, you always want to have a packaging that kind of reflects that, right? And I think that about 3 years ago, Jeannie Giorno came to me with Beauty Heroes, and she said, I want to bring InnerSense in the box. And at that time, Jeannie would test all the products through professional spas and get feedback. And the greater part of the feedback was, love the product, hate the packaging. And then that was kind of the first thing. And then 2 years ago, I came here to Indy, or 3 years ago, we exhibited here in Indy. And I'm walking around and I'm seeing all this amazing packaging. And I was just determined at that point, we need to raise the bar. And it was a journey. And that was probably one of the biggest points for us that's really helped our trajectory. And I think, it was breaking through that status quo of what clean, green beauty needs to be. And I saw it in cosmetics and makeup, and I just was we've got to do this. And we were able to achieve that.
Ashley, you?
Similar story to Greg. I remember sitting in Wisconsin. We moved from Washington, D.C. to Wisconsin because we needed to have our own lab to really do organic color. And I'm doing this because you can't be USDA and clean color. That's another story. And I got a phone call from Jessica Richards. She's a buyer for Free People people. She also has Shen in Brooklyn, and she's like, listen, we are starting beauty with 3 people. I love your product. I want to see everything. She shipped it to the owners of Urban. She went through it. And the feedback was, your product is better than everybody else's, but your packaging sucks. And I was like, well, thank you for being so candid. I appreciate your open honesty. And then I had to sit there because I had, at that point, taken no investment. And I knew we needed to elevate the brand, not because the product wasn't working, but because beauty is an emotional space. People want to like covet their lipstick tube and show their friends how incredible it looks, and then that it feels good too. The ingredient story is there. So it was the one piece of the puzzle that needed to be addressed, and it was going to cost over $500,000. So what do? You have to raise capital, and so we did. And 18 months later, we were able to unpack. But Jessica, to her credit, said, "When you address this, call me first," and I did. And she immediately said, "I want it." And she put in an order on the spot, and I'll forever be grateful for her feedback. It's why we are where we are today.
Would you just repeat that number for the audience?
$500,000.
Did you hear that?
$500,000. Primary packaging, outer packaging. You want EcoCert, invest in people like Gabe Timmons for actual USDA organic ingredients. And then people like Jeannie Jardot, find tastemakers who can speak to your mission and advocate for you. Because you are an authentic voice and you need tastemakers to support you in your journey forward. You have to keep moving forward.
Sarah, what about you? When did you decide to make a big investment in your next step?
Well, similar to the way we've grown, we've invested sort of bit by bit. Our company is financed by me and my husband so far. And so we've had to, because we are not of unlimited resources, we've had to invest bit by bit. I think for me, we did a big, to the tune of $150,000 to $200,000 packaging overhaul in the last year and a half. That includes, just unifying the packaging, making it present as a line. We got some feedback, that it presented as like multiple lines because of the different packaging. So we fixed those things and it's presenting beautifully now. But a different type of investment that I made recently, or in the last year and a half, was bringing on a chief operating officer who knows a lot more than I do about certain areas. No one knows more about the products or the passion and how I made them and why I made them. But I'm an MD. I am not an MBA, and the investment in a salary for somebody with that type of brain to come in and help me my husband's a lawyer, but like he'll be like, you should do this, and I'm like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And he's such a smart guy, but he's not here to be my partner in the business, And so bringing in Mary Logan, who's our chief operating officer, was really like, it was like when I sort of put her offer out, it was like that moment in, what's the movie with Whoopi Goldberg where she's like a nun and she's trying to give away like $1 million check, but she's like holding it. What is it? Yes. So, yes, exactly. So it was like that. When I sent the offer letter out, it's the biggest number I've ever paid anyone, and it was terrifying. I was like, God. But it's been more than worth it to bring in someone who's just wonderful and great for the brand and helping me spearhead it.
That's such a good point, and let's not spin the wheel for this, but let's go to Greg and Ashley on this topic, because we talked about investing in the product, right? The packaging, the branding, everything that goes with it. But you brought up the idea of investing in people, and not like the people you can afford, which might be 20-year-old interns, but people with real experience. Ashley, can you speak to when you were ready to hire experts?
I know where I am weak, and I'll be the first to admit I also don't have an MBA. I seek out people all the time. I'm like, who's strong in this? Who can help me with this? I'm like, every day I need something. And constantly looking to people who can help us grow. I mean, one of the people is you, Jody. I mean, you were a soundboard for us on our repackaging journey, and I've been using Jody and her services and her staff for over a year now. And it's been incredible having this very creative mind to give very candid and sound advice so that we can elevate. And so investing in the right, whether they're on staff or you're paying them as a consultant, have them there so that you can make educated, sound decisions. Because you cannot be everything to everyone. And you have to understand where you need help, and you have to admit you need help. You can't do everything, so find the people who can void the gap, right? Or not void the gap, who can be your solution for that time in which you need them.
And Greg, you told us you want to do every job at the company and you don't want to let go. Have you been able to?
Yeah, so, I mean, look, there was a time when I wrote orders all morning and packed them all afternoon. And so I can't do that anymore. And as I said, you either are working your business or working on your business. And I'm really working to get out of working the business. And in the last year, we've hired a lot of new people to be able to take those pieces off, whether they're full-time or whether they're outsourced resources to help manage our marketing, social media. We just brought in an operations guy to manage supply chain and internal operations, new office and business development people, so that I can be out here. This is where I shine. This is where my value proposition is for InterSense, is to be out in the marketplace. So it's exciting to see, but it's hard to let go. It's really hard to let go. And in fact, this week, which is really kind of odd, they literally cut me off of our group feeds on our emails. So of course, different emails come in, right? Like orders, web orders, I see them all coming in. So I've literally been, I am like, on the wagon here. It's tough.
Right, so you're like looking at your phone wondering why nobody's emailing you?
It like feeds me all the time. I'm seeing all of our customer orders coming in, and all of a sudden I don't have visual to that, so it's kind of tough. I'm okay.
Probably also.
Can you still prescribe?
So we're running out of time in our presentation, so I want to go back to our deck because what we're going to do is our three panelists were kind enough to give us their 3 tips, like things that they thought you need to know, wish they knew along the way. So this is a part of the presentation where you probably want to take a screenshot of the slides. So Ashley, we'll start with you with your 3 tips.
Okay, I can't see my screen, so verbatim, I don't know all of my. Can I
It's a marathon, not a race.
Oh, it is a marathon. Thank you, Tony. So it is a marathon, not a race. I mean, understand that what you might see happening next week might take a year, but don't give up. I mean, I was not in a position to pay myself until just recently. In November, it's 6 years, so I was unpaid for 4 years. Are you prepared to do that?
Did you hear that? Did everybody hear that?
That was awful. I used to make good money before this. I liked going shopping, right? So I had to be poor for a long time. That really sucked. Are you capable of sucking it up? I mean, yeah.
The next one is network.
Oh, yeah, and this kind of goes to the last question too. You need to be not in the weeds, you need to be working on your business, as you mentioned, because I need to be exposed to people like yourself who can help me bring the business to the next level. If you're at home making your product in your kitchen and crossing your fingers, people are gonna go on your website and buy, I mean, good luck to you.
And the last tip is do not burn out.
We mentioned this earlier before, Sarah runs. I'm still trying to figure out what my only solution at this point is to buy a ticket to South Africa or Europe and shut off my phone and force a vacation, because I don't know how to do this right yet. So I'm not a runner, sometimes yoga, but burnout is real. I've had this discussion with a lot of people at Indie Beauty this week, trying to see what they do. I mean, maybe I need to go find religion or something, but yeah, it's really easy to burn yourself out. You have to ask yourself, like, what do you need to be replenished? Because if you are the leader of your company, you cannot get tired, and you need to be there for your people, you need to be there for your brand, and you need to fill your cup back up again. So what does that look like to you? I'm still figuring it out.
Thank you, Ashley. Okay, we're gonna move to the next slide. That's Greg's. Do you want me to read to you, Greg?
Okay, so mine is be true to your brand. Know your lane, be clear on your why. Don't forget that. Don't lose sight of that. And that's critical. Don't compromise your values, and don't allow those you work with to also compromise those values. It's really critical. And don't lose your personality. So that's really important. This is a big one for me, is that know that it's a natural process to be your own worst critic. I'm super hypercritical of what we do. There's a card that I received at a dinner a while back. It's on my desk, and it just says, "Doubt is part of the creative process." And I love that card, and so it is. And so Find those things that feed you. I can walk around the show floor and beat myself up all day long because there's so much great marketing out there, and part of that. But just know in your heart that what you're doing is right. And I think this is such a wonderful, amazing, emerging community. Find mentors. I think that's really important. Is to find mentors that are going through the same thing. And there are so many people that just want to lend information. I mean, we're all in the same place. We all have similar stories, and it's really amazing when you are able to have that kind of a collaboration. So find mentors and people who are living the dream with you. They might be your competitor, but you know what? I think that if you kind of take that outside, they'll open up and want to share things with you. And I love doing that with people who come to me. So.
Great, Sarah?
My 3 pieces of advice are, one, this I did not follow, start small. I launched with like 30 SKUs, which is like bananas. Like, it's just crazy. And we're like at 50 now, which is still crazy. And trying to scale a business with that many SKUs is really, really hard. The other thing is, like, everybody always wants new, and I'm like, but I have all of the things. Like, I have a whole line. I have everything you need from stem to stern. So if you start smaller, you'll leave yourself room to do new every 6 months, and the editors will love you for it. Number 2 is trust your instincts. So, that feeling that you get when there's like a dude in a trench coat walking behind you on a lonely street? That's there for a reason. And that feeling, that uncomfortable pit in your stomach, it exists in your business sense too. So if you hire someone and you have a weird feeling about that person, or if you're about to do a deal with someone and you get that weird feeling, do not ignore it. And then the last would be to gather inspiration from your competitors rather than being jealous of them. Hillary Peterson from True Botanicals loves to say a rising tide lifts all boats, and it is so true. You can waste incredible amounts of energy being jealous or insecure about your competition, or you can be dear friends with them and learn so much from them and celebrate their success in an industry that we're all trying to improve. So I suggest the latter.
What incredible advice. Well, we're going to have a few minutes for questions, but before we start questions, I just want to say what a thrill it is to be on stage with friends, new and old. This is incredible. I hope that you learned a lot from this. We're happy to talk with anybody who wants to take their brand to the next level. So let's hear for some questions. Raise your hand loud and proud. We're ready for you.
I just started my online boutique. I just launched my online boutique last week. I want to ask all you guys, what's the best advice for people like me in their very early stage? If you can tell like yourself 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like when you just started, what would be the best advice?
As I said, it always looks good on paper, and I often say that it's a journey, and you have to have a lot of perseverance. There was a time when I had $350,000 in inventory and got cut off from a major distributor, and it literally was a fork in the road. Either I continue moving on, or I just shut it down. My wife was begging me to do the latter. But anyway, and I think you just have to have a mentality of, I'm not going to fail here. And that's what it really takes. And I think that all of us have probably been at a point where we're sitting in the office going, how can we continue to do this? How can I continue to do this? And then all of a sudden the phone rings. And it's a drug. And that's what keeps you going for the next day. It's your fix.
I'm gonna add and just say, keep perspective. Like, if you start to feel that panic rise in you about something, just like look in the mirror and be like, I have access to clean water, the internet, and like a remote control. Things are not that bad. And just take a breath. Yeah.
Don't give up, don't give up. I mean, ask yourself, why have I started this? Visualize where you want to go. Know that you're going to fall, and you will frequently, but you will learn. And yeah, you're going to cry a lot probably. You're probably going to be really depressed sometime, but the sun always comes up. And as long as you keep moving forward and lean on other business owners, so you can, there's not too many people who are going to share the same headspace as where you are right now, especially in the early stages. I found a lot of comfort in talking to other business owners, and there was some sort of like alliance and like our empathy and sympathy and the issues of a business owner, which other people are never going to relate to you on. So form a network that you can lean on, I would suggest, and just don't give up. Just keep going.
Yeah,
it's going to be
ready
okay.
for this.
It's going to be okay.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your presentation. I was wondering about the process of taking your idea to like an actual product and what that was like, because I know that that can be a very like trial and error kind of process that requires a lot of investment.
Like product formulation or concept, or
I mean, once you have the concept, formulating, like having an actual product that's like ready for market.
it's a really good question, especially for the three of us, because we're all coming at it from a different angle. I don't want to jump in here, I'll be really quick. But I mean, for me, I was a beauty outsider. I really truly thought every single makeup brand had their own special lab where they made secret potions and like deliver them to the universe. So I felt like a complete moron when I showed up to my first show and I was the only one actually making the product. What was a pain point in scaling is now the best point of difference I think my brand has in color to this space, because we can actually take a concept and make it a product like literally in a couple days if we want to. Now, to do it right, you need to talk to people like Joey who are in the space who can market it well, but like for us, that execution of concept to product to bringing it to the masses can move fairly quickly, and it's unique, I think, if you were to talk to someone else like me in this space.
Well, I was a beauty insider, so I was used to the process. However, when you're on your own, you have to become really empowered in understanding formulation and ingredients, and make sure that you're working with resources that are in alignment with your vision and what you want to create, because they're going to come at you with every trick in the book. And I can tell you, to bring InnerSense to market, I must have gone through 4 or 5 formulating chemists to finally achieve what I wanted to achieve, to stay true to what our initial mission was. So it's a long journey.
Mine involved a Vitamix, and like making soap in every possible container in my whole house. So I think, if you are gonna take something from concept to market, you have to do it one of 2 ways. You either have to have an original idea, which is hard to do.
I do.
Or you have to do something that's already been done, but just do it really beautifully. That's what we do. I'm not saying our products have all been done. We have a couple very original products that do things that other products on the market don't do. But you have to either be the very best or have something original. And even if you have something original, you still have to execute it like top notch.
Thank you, everyone. That's all the time we have for questions today. This was such an incredible panel. We'll all be around for a few minutes. If you have individual questions, come and see us. Thank you.